Hello everyone. Our presentation topic is the Bullwhip effect. This concept first appeared by J. Foster in 1961 in Industrial Dynamics book, and thus it is also known as the Foster effect. The Bullwhip effect was named for the way the amplitude of a wave increased down its length. Let's come to the main point. What is Bullwhip effect? Through the numerous stages of a supply chain, key factors such as time and supply of ordering decision, demand for the supply, lack of communication and disorganization can result in the one of the main common problem in supply chain management. This common problem is known as the Bullwhip effect. The Bullwhip effect can be explained as an occurrence detected by the supply chain where orders sent to the manufacturer and supplier create large variance than the sales to the end customer. These irregular orders in the lower part of the supply chain develop to be more distance higher up to the supply chain. This variance can interrupt the smoothness of the supply chain process, as its link in the supply chains will over or underestimate the product demand, resulting in exaggerated fluctuation. This fluctuation and amplification is called the Bullwhip. To the causes of Bullwhip effect. There are many causes in Bullwhip effect. The following list names a few. Long lead time, lack of communication, free return policy, price variability. Long lead time. Lead time is a very important term in supply chain management. If lead time is long, then it's affect to the supply chain and it's create a problematic situation. This problematic situation create Bullwhip effect. Lack of communication. In supply chain management, there are many parties involved, such as customer, retailer, wholesaler, distributor, manufacturer. Suppose there is a lack of communication among all the parties, then it's create problematic situation and it's create Bullwhip effect. Free return policy. Free return policy, customers may intentionally overstate demand due to storage and then cancel when the supply becomes adequate again. Without return profit, retailers will continue to exaggerate their needs and cancel orders, resulting in excess material. Price variability. Special discount and other cost changes can upset regular buying patterns. Buyers want to take advantage on discount offered during a short time period. This can cause uneven production and distorted demand information. Come to the graphical representation, the Bullwhip effect. There is some change in demand from the customer. This demand signal goes to the retailer. Then retailer increases his ordering quantity. This increases ordering quantity. This increases the graph gradually with the time.
In this we will calculate and see how Bullwhip effect increasing products or order quantity. There is the lead time between the retailer and wholesaler is 4 weeks. Similarly, between the wholesaler and distributor and between the distributor and factory, the lead time is 4 weeks for both. In this math, we need to consider 2 points. One is the forecast rule. In the forecast rule, we will order for 4 weeks is the equal with the previous 4 weeks average demand, and other is the order quantity rule. In the order quantity rule, the initial inventory is always 12.
When customer demand increase from 4 to 8, then retailer will order to the wholesaler equal to the inventory target plus forecasted demand for next 4 weeks minus current inventory minus orders already placed for the next 3 weeks. So by calculating, we will find 12 beers.
Now move to the case study in international supermarket. American Eagle Outfitters, which rose to prominence as the outfitter of suburban teenagers, announced in 2014 that it would close 150 of its approximately 1,000 stores over the subsequent 3 years. Perhaps the efforts are paying off. Share prices of the clothier have remained relatively steady since the beginning of the year, while the stock of other apparel sellers have floundered. American Eagle also said this year that it would roll out a mobile-friendly version of its website, following in the footsteps of retailers like Walmart that are trying to make the online shopping experience more consumer-friendly. Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, has effectively overcome the bullwhip effect. The details of each transaction that occurs every day at a Walmart store are relayed to the headquarters regularly. Thus, by maintaining transparency throughout the supply chain about the actual demand at the customer's end, Walmart has been able to control the bullwhip effect efficiently. Walmart is most successful at the supply chain because of the controlling of the bullwhip effect. In this, there can be no variation in order and demand of the customer. No lack of communication is seen in the between the Walmart and the manufacturer. The manufacturer can know everything from the data sharing center of Walmart, and so they can produce more orders and fulfill the customer demand so that the Walmart doesn't face the bullwhip effect. On the other hand, bullwhip effect is seen in the American Eagle because of lacking of communication and data sharing between the manufacturer and the company. So they stored the products to fulfill the excessive demand of the customers so that they don't face the stock out like the American supermarket. Now in the Bangladeshi supermarket, the same fluctuation is seen in the Mina Bazar. The Mina Bazar once was the best supermarket of the country, but with the lacking of communication and data sharing, they lack beside the Shopno. Shopno is now the best supermarket in Bangladesh. They became successful with the data sharing policy and communication build up with the Shopno and the manufacturer, so that they aren't facing the bullwhip effect when the Mina Bazar is facing a lot. So Shopno is more successful than the Mina Bazar nowadays. Now we are in the case study in automotive industries. The two European car giants Volkswagen and Fiat have an ideal example of bullwhip effect. In the supply chain of Volkswagen, the lead time is lower so that the distribution is well enough so that the process cannot render much more lead time. By reducing the lead time, the Volkswagen follows different criteria. They manufacture the cars according to the customer regards in different opinions, and the opinions are published at the time of sale, so that when the distribution process starts, the lead time between the process is well established for less bullwhip effect. In 2018, Volkswagen stands number one in the automotive industries of world and their net profit was $120 billion. On the other side, Fiat has bigger or much more lead time in their supply chain distribution process. For their bigger bullwhip effect, their profit is not well enough. The main cause of their bullwhip effect is their huge lead time. Fiat has some unnecessary steps in their distribution process, so that their lead time has gained much longer. Fiat isn't fulfilling the customer demand properly, but when they criticize the customer demand, the lead time calibrates much longer, so that according to much lead time, their bullwhip effect is gaining more and more. And for the reason, Fiat cannot hold its position properly. According to the Forbes in 2018, they stands as 38 in all the car manufacturing industries. Now let's move to the case study of cycle markets in Bangladesh. Velos is one of the most familiar cycle industries in Bangladesh. They are following a much more creative supply chain distribution process. They has both retailing shop and wholesalers, so that their lead time between the wholesalers and the containers remain very low. so that they have less lead time, so that their distribution process is much more smoother. On the other hand, Duronto doesn't manufacture their cycle. They borrow the cycle and by their own they only distribute them to their retailers, so that they have less variations and much more lead time. Increasing lead time between their supply chain reflects their profit, so that Velos is way ahead to the Duronto bicycle.
So from the previous slide, we have came to know that bullwhip effect occurs due to lack of supply chain coordination. A supply chain lacks coordination if each stage optimizes only its local objective without considering the impact on the complete chain. Lack of coordination has a negative effect on performance at every stage and thus hurts the relationship among different stages of the supply chain. So in this slide we can see a relationship between performance measure and impact of the lack of coordination. Manufacturing cost, inventory cost, replacement lead time, transportation cost, labor cost, etc. are increases. On the other hand, product availability and profitability are decreases. From the earlier discussion, it follows that lack of coordination has a significant negative impact on the supply chain performance by increasing cost and decreasing responsiveness. Now in this slide, we will know about achieving supply chain coordination. Having identified obstacles to coordination, we now focus on actions a manager can take to help overcome the obstacles and achieve coordination in the supply chain. The following actions are everyday low price policy, collaborating with customers and suppliers, improving forecast accuracy, sharing information, long-term contract with suppliers, operational efficiency. Although the bullwhip effect is a common problem for supply chain management, understanding the causes behind this effect, it can help managers find strategies to alleviate the effect. But at the ending point, we can say that the more a company is vertically integrated, the less they will face bullwhip effect. That's all about from us. Thank you.